Alright everyone, I'm going to debunk the moon landing. The 1969 moon landing supposedly happened in July, where we flew 3 men to the moon. I think there was just 2 that actually went on the moon and 1 stayed above it or something. I'm not sure. But 2 men are on the moon, and I'm going to debunk it. There's no way that anybody went to moon in that craft. For one thing, did anybody look at the craft? If you've looked at that craft close up in high resolution pictures, it's curtain rods and aluminum foil and a gold aluminum foil and duct tape. I'm not kidding. And they said that thing flew all around the moon. It's impossible. So, but I wanted you to see the footage. Now this is the actual footage that was on television in 1969, and I was about 8-9 years old, and I watched it live. I watched the hoax. Now they say Stanley Kubrick actually did it. Alright, I'm going to start this. Now I'm starting it. It's in at 1 minute 14 seconds into the video, but actually this is where it starts, where the video feed starts for the television. And there's the camera. So he was already, the astronaut must have already been down on the moon and went and set up that camera, obviously. You know, people have said this for years, like, you know, how did the camera just get set up? Well, he didn't just walk off and step on the moon. He was already off the moon, and he was already on the moon, and he went and he set up a camera, and then he did the, you know, the one small step for man thing. But here's the thing. Okay, right now he's stepping off and on the ladder. He steps up and he steps back, and he does that famous, you know, one small step for man. And I'm not going to leave that in here. Everybody's heard it. But my main point of this video is, I'm getting to the point now, the shadows. Okay, they're supposedly on the moon, and when you're on the moon, you've got the only light source, and NASA has admitted this, well, they stated this, that the only light source on the moon was the sun. Okay, so if you've got the moon, you've got the sun, everything is moving. The sun, of course, is stationary, and the moon rotates around the Earth, and the Earth rotates around the sun. Well, everything's moving, okay? So my point is, as a point of reference of this video, the shadows from the sun never change. Okay? And I'm going to prove that right now. That's the whole premise of this video is I'm going to prove that the moon landing was a hoax, because the shadow from the sun supposedly never changes. Now you're saying, oh, you know, I know what you're thinking, but I'm going to prove it. Now he's just, what they're doing now is he's doing this or that. I'm going to fast forward to the point where the camera gets set up and stabilized, and that's at 42 minutes, approximately 42 minutes 5 seconds. We're 3 minutes into it right now. I'm going to fast forward this. I'm not going to bore you. Now we're going to take this to approximately 42. But I want to stop it a little bit early so you can see him move the camera around. So 25, 28 minutes, 29 minutes. Okay, there's 31 minutes. And let's see. Alright, 32 minutes. You can see him moving around. They're moving the camera around right now. 35 minutes into the video. You can see now 38 minutes. I'm going to hit play. 38 minutes now. He still hasn't stabilized that camera yet. And you'll see there now he's moving. There, the guy walked. I don't know if you saw it, but one of the astronauts, Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin, one of them walked over and he's moving the camera right now. So he's moving the camera. You can see that. And It looks like it's stabilizing right now. He's got a shot of a fake lunar surface. Now, a lot of people say that this is actually the desert, the high desert of Nevada, somewhere out in White Sands Missile or Nevada somewhere. And if you do your research and you look around enough, you can probably find old photographs. And he even says it's just when he stands on the supposed moon, he says, "Oh, it's just like the high desert." He kind of slips there. Well, yeah, it's just like the high desert because it is. Okay, now there's all your shadows, which is really odd. They almost look like their shadows were opposite there. That's just, if that's true, it's just another light source. But alright, so he's still stabilizing this. I thought it would be quicker. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. It's playing. It's at 39 minutes, so it goes to 42. I'm going to go a little bit faster because it's just going a little too slow here. Alright, so now it's in a little fast forward mode. 39 minutes. And this is approximately how long he's on the moon right now, about 40 minutes. So he's moving the camera right now. I'll go a little bit faster. This is too slow. Alright, here we go. 41 minutes, 28 seconds. He's almost got the camera in the right spot. Should be just a couple seconds here. Now, if you can see my post-it note there, if you can see that, that's a yellow post-it note. And I put it right where the shadow. Now that's a reference, so you can see the shadow. Now that black streak right above the post-it note, that's a shadow, okay? And he's still moving the camera around. Alright, so I obviously watched this and I placed that post-it note approximately right, perfectly on the bottom of that shadow. Alright, he's got it stabilized. We're 42 minutes, in a few seconds. Now, here's my whole point. Now you see that shadow right there? That shadow is, now here, he's leaving. He just set up the camera, he's got it stabilized, and he's walking back to the cracker box craft that they said that went to the moon, which is a total BS. If you looked at that, I challenge everyone to go look at high resolution color pictures of that craft and tell me that that thing flew around in zero gravity and extreme temperatures. Plus, it's so small. If you look at the guys, how small it is. It's just impossible. Okay, so there they go. Another thing too I wanted to point out, you can see through the guy. Now that's the astronaut there, and the other astronauts moving around. You can see him. You can see right through him. How does that? If that's a camera, a solid object, you're not going to be able to see through it. It's just some kind of weird something going on here. Because if you look close enough, you can see right through the astronaut. You can see the objects on the other side. It just doesn't make any sense. But that's a whole other thing I'm not qualified to talk about. All I'm going to do is talk about that post-it note. Now look at the post-it note. You see that kind of a rod right there by the post-it note? That's a reflection. And that little dot that's above the horizon there, that's another reflection. I looked around. First I thought that was something else, but just a reflection. Now back to the post-it note. Look at the post-it note. Do you see the shadow? Right above it is the shadow. The sun is to the left. And you can see how bright the astronauts' suits are, where the light is reflecting off on the left side, on their left sides. And if you look at the craft, you can see that bright point over there. Well, the sun, I think it's an artificial light source, is shooting or beaming from the left to the right, as we're looking at it here. And it's casting that shadow. Now look at the post-it note. Right above the post-it note, that shadow is perfectly level, pretty close to right underneath the shadow. This is my whole point. I am going to fast forward this video, and that shadow stays exactly the same throughout all the time. Now, you're saying, well, so what? Well, what do you mean, so what? This is on the moon, supposedly. You're talking about something that's revolving around the Earth at a very high speed. And the Earth is also moving around the sun. So the Earth is moving around the sun, and the moon is moving around the Earth. and the Earth's, you see what I'm trying to say? Everything is moving. So these shadows can't, there's no way these shadows can stay perfectly straight like that throughout this whole video. And anybody that's been outside, just look at a sundial. Go set a sundial out. I mean, it literally can tell you the time in minutes. I mean, so in other words, in 5 minutes, that sun has moved a little bit on that dial. You can see it. And for sure, within 15 minutes, you can easily see that sun move on that sundial. Now, I know this is supposedly the Earth. It's not the sun and everything's different. I know. But listen, there's no way, everything moving, there's no way that sun would stay, that shadow would stay exactly the same for this amount of time. It's impossible. Alright, so now I said that he started that, okay, they stabilized that camera at 42 minutes 5 seconds into this video. Right now we're at 46 minutes, okay, so it's only been a few minutes. But now we're going to start fast forwarding, okay? Because I don't want to bore you, but I want to make a point. Now, okay, they just zoomed in here, and they zoom in for a little bit in this video. I don't know, I think the people who enhanced this thing zoomed it in so you could see. Well, this is kind of cool too, because you can, again, look, you can see right through the astronauts. They almost look like ghosts. So how does that? Look at the horizon up there. Look at the right astronaut. You can see the horizon into his body. You can see through him. I mean, what's with that? They're almost like ghosts. If they were solid objects, they would be solid objects. Now they're setting up, what they're doing now is they're setting up the flag, and I think they wanted to zoom in on that. So keep watching that. Look at that. You can see right through them. I don't know. Alright, so they're setting up the flag, which I think is pretty cool. But I'm going to fast forward because my whole point of this video is the shadow. And what's going to happen now is, once they stop zooming back, that'll be exactly where it was, and you'll see the post-it note. And I'm just going to get to that point right here. Okay, I'm fast forwarding. We're at 48 minutes, 49 minutes. They're getting the flag set up. I'll stop it here for a minute. They get that flag set up. Now again, look at the flag. It's bright. See how bright? Supposedly that flag right now, the face of it is right to the sun. So that's really bright. And then you're talking, you can see the astronauts on the side there. Everything's bright. You can see, obviously see where the source of light is from. Alright? Now again, they zoomed in. NASA did this for this video. We're going to keep going here. 51 minutes. 52 minutes. 53 minutes. 54 minutes, 55 minutes. Alright, keep going here. 57. Should snap back here in a little bit. 59, 1 hour. We're into 1 hour now. And we're 1 hour. And if you're looking, the shadow hasn't moved, not even an inch. And we're into an hour, okay? So technically it's 20 minutes from 40 minutes, I know, but still 20 minutes, you know. And it's going to snap back here in a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit faster because it's taking too long. 20, 120, 24, the shadow's exactly, well, you can just look right now, the shadow, according to the post-it note, it's exact, alright, there, it snapped back. Alright, I hit play. Now we've snapped back. They've changed the instead of zooming in, they've changed it back to where it was, and you can see the post-it note because the camera's exactly the same spot, the craft, everything's the same. You can see the post-it notes exactly the same. Okay, that post-it note, that shadow is exactly in the same place it was at 42 minutes. Now where are we at now? We're at 1 hour 35 minutes. That's 35 plus 40, that's 70 minutes, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 70 minutes. So you're telling me in 70 minutes that shadow hasn't moved an iota. It hasn't moved a quarter inch. That's impossible. The moon is going around the Earth. It orbits the Earth. and the Earth orbits the sun. Everything is moving. That shadow hasn't moved not even an inch. It is exactly the same. This is my whole point of this movie. Now, I'm going to fast forward this. I'm just going to keep going here because I don't want to bore you. Alright, so we got 37, 137, 138. I'm going to go a little faster. This is as fast as this will go. And you can see 151, 152. Now this video is 3 hours long, so I'm just going to keep going. Make my point here. Alright, so we got 2 hours, 7 minutes. I'm going this full speed right now. 2 hours, 17, 2 hours, 20. Alright, 2 hours, 27. Now I'm going to play here. I hit play, and it's, okay, it's at 2 hours and 31 minutes. Okay, now what does that mean? I didn't bring my calculator, and I'm not good with math, but, okay, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do this. Fast forward it to 42 minutes. That'd be easier. Okay, it's at 42 minutes right now, and so we're 2 hours. So we started at 42 minutes. We looked at that post-it note, and now, as you can see, it's 2 hours and 42 minutes into the movie. So we're talking an hour. Let's see, 1 hour, 42, 142, 242. That's 2 hours. Now anybody with an IQ over 40, okay, knows that in 2 solid hours that shadow would have had to move. Now, you go ahead and put it in the comments. I don't care. You can't tell me that that shadow isn't going to move at all, somewhere. Up, down, sideways, I don't care, but it's got to move a little bit in 2 hours time. 2 hours. Come on, people. The moon landing was a complete hoax. This was done in a movie theater. Disney was involved. Disney was paid. Kubrick directed it. Stanley Kubrick directed this. And it's a complete false fakery. How do I know this? What's my theory? Look at the post-it note. That post-it note is not, that shadow has not moved an inch. Alright, so there we got a little. Now let's see where we're at now. We're at 2:44. We're going to fast forward here and just see what happens. Because the video is only 3 minutes and 3 hours and 2 minutes long. And I don't want to go all the way to the end because I don't want to show the credits and get because it screws up copyright laws. But this is on television, so it should be okay. All right, hit pause. All right, I'm gonna hit play. Now we're officially at 2 hours 52. Here, I'm gonna hit it again. 2 hours 52 minutes. And that shadow, and there's the flag moved a little bit there. The flag is moving, by the way, I think. Pretty, well, maybe not. But look at the post-it note. My whole point of this thing is look at the post-it note. Look at the shadow that has not moved in. Now we're 2 hours 53 minutes in. So 42, 142, 242, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 13 minutes, and that shadow hasn't moved at all. Nothing. Prove me wrong. I want your comments. I want your comments down below. I want you to tell me, oh no, moon landing wasn't faked. It's impossible. Too many people would know. Well, you know what? Only a few people did know. All the thousands of people you see in the control room and all that, all those people were looking at the same movie that they were creating, or possibly already created. It was just a movie. So they just played it on the monitors and it just made it sound like it was real. And it was all faked. And you know what did they shoot a rocket up? Yeah, they probably shot a rocket up. It orbited the Earth a few times. Then it came back down in the allotted time. and they splashed down, and that was it. They said they went to the moon. They didn't. The shadows don't lie. Prove me wrong. I want your comments down there. Now, I don't know how long this is going to go, and I can't go. Let's see. We're almost at 3 hours now, so I'm going to stop this. I'm going to hit pause here. Okay, the video only goes to 3 hours and 2 minutes, and we're at 2 hours and 54 minutes. Okay, 2 hours 54 minutes. That's 42, 142, 242. That's approximately 2 hours and 12, 13 minutes, 14 minutes, with that shadow not moving at all. It never moved. 2 hours, 54 minutes into the movie, and that shadow never moved. Never. So that's the moon hoax. Please subscribe. Please like this video. Please share it. Please prove me wrong. I want to hear your comments. If you think I'm just full of you know what, go ahead. Explain to me why that shadow did not move at all in over 2 hours. Over 2 hours. You tell me why that shadow didn't move. I want to hear it, you debunkers out there. There's your challenge. Chemtrails MN. I am signing off.